Hello everyone, welcome back to another instalment of the Kiwi Idiot Aboard. Still in London at the moment, will be until, well, for another couple of days yet. I am here in St Paul's churchyard at the moment, about to go check out the cathedral. It was built in 1710 and actually housed the funerals of Sir Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher. The Duke of Wellington the Duke of Wellington's funeral was here as well. So yeah, I thought I'd come in and check it out. It had dominated the skyline for a long time in London. It's 360 odd metres tall and is at the top of Ludgate Hill. So I thought, why not? Let's go check it out, see what's in there. Probably be up there in terms of beauty, just like Westminster Abbey was. So let's go check it out and see how we get on. One of the only parts throughout St Paul's that you can actually film it outside. And we're almost at the top. Just gone up 376 steps to go to this point. This up there. And yeah, so that's quite cool. We'll keep on wandering about here. So we're going to try and stand this out again. And you'll see what this one is. Yeah, so quite a good view. And we're not even all the way up yet, which is going to be fun. So another 150 steps or so to get to the top. That should be a good time. And if you see through there now, can't really see it that well, but that's the Thames. It's over there, the brown thing, and my GoPro keeps falling under, and that's because I'm not tightening it properly. Again, rookie mistake. I'll get there, but I'll see if I can film when I get to the top. If not, those two photos. Okay, so I left St Paul's, absolutely knackered. Probably the worst thing to do was to go in there as the first thing for the day, because like I said, 560 something steps or something like that to get to the top. Needless to say, my legs were jelly. 20-minute walk, and I'm at the Tower of London, as you can see behind me there. Maybe, I don't know how the lighting is, but that there is the Tower of London, which I'm going to go through now and have a walk through. There's currently a thing on called Super Bloom, which is for the Queen's Jubilee, which is just a whole bunch of flowers on the river, I believe. But we're not going to be looking at that, we're just going straight for the Tower of London. So I will see you guys soon, and we'll go, hopefully we'll be able to video a little bit as we're going through it, but we'll find out when we get there. Right, so as I'm going around here, I'm realising more and more that the tour is probably not worth it. That's the size of the tour group there. So it wouldn't have been a whole bunch of fun for me. I prefer 20, maybe 30 at most. That's probably where I'd be at. So there's a lot there, but it is absolutely fascinating. I just walked through the bloody tower where Walter Raleigh was imprisoned. Quite a famous explorer. And it's really interesting, and it's quite cool. They had an actor there playing Walter Raleigh, which is actually kind of quite cool and sort of added a little bit to it. So that was very, very nicely touched there. I'm going to continue walking around for a wee bit more. There is still a whole bunch of fascinating things as we go about, and yeah, keep going and see what we can find and see what we can see. So I said earlier, or not long ago, that I was going to go visit the Crown Jewels. That there is a line for it, and I promise you I'm just not that interested in the Crown Jewels to wait in line for that long. Well, I get it, it's impressive, it's a bunch of jewels, but I don't care that much about it. By the way, the line keeps going all the way down there. So, yeah. The line doesn't just end there, it goes, you might be able to see it now, all the way down there somewhere. So that's a bit much for me. I'm not in for that, that's for sure. Would have been nice, but yeah, I can't justify waiting that long. And yeah, I like to squeeze as much in as I can, and waiting that long to see some jewels doesn't really fit into that plan. So we'll move on and we'll keep moving about. That there behind me is White Tower. Over there, White Tower. Probably the most famous and prettiest of all the ones here at the Tower of London. But we might go through there. We'll see how we go. But I'm probably going to head out relatively soon and move on to the Tower Bridge. So I'll see you then. Okay, so I've left the Tower of London and I'm now at Tower Bridge. And this is not London Bridge. London Bridge is somewhere down that way. It's a common misconception that people think that the tower is London Bridge. It is not. This is Tower Bridge, completely separate. This is obviously the more famous of the two, but I guess that's why people think that it's called London Bridge. But certainly not. In a moment we're going to climb up to the top of that and see what it looks like from there, and then continue on. So yeah, it should be a good time. Keep in mind that I'm deathly afraid of heights, so bear with me on this one. So I'm beginning to think more and more that I'm a bit of a sadist, or masochist, I guess, actually. Sadomasochist, why not? Inflicting pain on myself. So after St. Paul's, 560 steps, I elected to walk up here instead of take the lift for another 206 steps. Now I'm knackered. But yeah. Okay, so I'm here in a place called Bermondsey Beer Cellar. I've got myself Paulaner beer, the German beer, and I'm about to do a thing called the London Bridge Experience, which is like a little show and has some jump scares and stuff like that. I don't think I can video in there, it's probably not a good idea to anyway, but here's the sort of beer hall, which is beer gala, and yeah, I'll let you know how we go afterwards. So it's called the London Bridge Experience. So again, it's not the Tower Bridge, London Bridge, but I'll see you guys afterwards. Right, so this is Shannon. I met her in this London experience from Perth, bloody old Perth. Not a bad town. City, it's not a town. Christchurch is a town. But we just got out of that, and what, 10 minutes ago maybe? 10 minutes ago, and our hearts are still going from it. It was pretty intense at the time, but very much worth it. Unfortunately, we seem to be sort of making the atmosphere between us, because I don't think the party we were with really understood English or what was really happening. So we brought the party to them, I guess, for lack of better terms. Yeah, always. Aussie and a Kiwi, always going to be the life of the party, no matter what happens. So now we're just having a drink on the bank of the Thames, and then we're probably going to check out the Globe Theatre soon, and we'll see how that goes. Globe Theatre is quite well known as Shakespeare's place, and a lot of his plays and stuff are performed there, so that'll be really interesting. Yes.
The real one burnt down.
Yes, 100% right. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I know some things sometimes.
I occasionally know things, but then I forget them quite quickly. But so yeah, we're going to go check that out soon. I've got to go to the Clink Museum at some point, which is a prison museum, so that'll be a good time too. But for now, I'll talk to you soon. Well, hello again. I've now split from my Australian friend Shannon. We did try and go to the Globe Theatre, but that wasn't possible because there was a show on at that time. I tried to go to the Clink Museum, but that was no longer part of the London Pass, so I thought flag it. I'm now wandering through Borough Market, it's called, and it's yeah, quite a lively little place. But what I'm going to do now is I've just booked my tickets for 5 o'clock, so about an hour and a half away, to go to the Sherlock Holmes Museum, which is incredibly exciting for me. If anybody knows me, I'm a big fan of both the novels, the movies, and yeah, the novels, the movies. I wasn't so much a fan of the BBC shows around Sherlock Holmes, but it'll be very, very fascinating regardless. So we will be going to 221B Baker Street, which is always very, for me, is very, very exciting to go and actually see that address as well, which is of course where Sherlock Holmes lived, for lack of a better term. He obviously didn't live there because he didn't really exist. He was just a fictional human being, but it'll be really, really cool to go and check it out. And yeah, so that's the Borough Market. Cool, see you guys soon. Hey guys, I just needed to point this one out. Obviously growing up in Australia, cricket was a big deal. Some of you might not know cricket, some of you will. But right behind me is one of the world's most famous cricket pitches at Lord's. It's also where English cricket died when they first lost the Ashes to Australia way back when. I can't remember the year, but this is where English cricket died. Died a horrible death at the hands of the Australians. So a whole bunch of students walking past. Fair enough. But yeah, so a little bit interesting for me. We can't go in there because there's a game on at the moment, which obviously don't have tickets for. It's not the England team playing either, so it's probably the MCC or potentially Middlesex. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's Lord's. Okay, so another little bit of luck that I've had. I sort of just noticed it as I was figuring out what to do while I was waiting for my entrance slot at Sherlock Museums, is I found this place, Abbey Road Studio, which is of course famous for the Beatles, but there's been many other people that have recorded here, such as Kanye West, Adele, Ella Fitzgerald, sorry, not Ella Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran. A lot of people have recorded here, and it's probably the most famous studio in the world. So we talk about the most famous studio in the world, and when I turn around here, you will see the most famous crosswalk in the world over my right shoulder here. That is the crosswalk that the Beatles walked for the album cover of Abbey Road. So yeah, really, really quite cool for a little nugget of history, which I didn't expect as part of it. So if you excuse me 2 moments while I walk across the street. Don't want to ruin other people's photos and whatnot, so I'll just wait for them to go past. And yep, now I'll cross it. So I'm now crossing the Abbey Road walkway on foot by the Beatles, which I think is really fucking cool. So yeah, there we go. Beatles Crosswalk and Abbey Road Studios. How lovely. So we made it back here just in time for 221B Baker Street. My tour's not for another 10 minutes, but let's go check it out. So I just came out of 221B Baker Street. Not actually 221, it's about 225, but they needed to make sure that it was, you know, as authentic as possible, because keeping in mind Sherlock Holmes isn't a real person. It did sort of kind of make it sound as though, tried to make it so it sounded that he was a real person, which was an interesting choice, but I guess that's what you got to do. There were some really cool things in there. I do wonder if they were genuine sort of Victorian era items in there. I don't know, who knows, could be. If it is, then it's really, well, it's cool regardless. But now I'm going to go home and try and get an early night for once. Don't think I've had one since I've been here, so get an early night in, and we've got a whole nother day tomorrow, so see you then.